Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, all to my welcome to all my peers and to all the friends that are joining us. And my name is Don West Jr. I am the founder of Knock Out the Stigma, and I am the curator of well-being for the Well-Being Toolbox. And tonight we're going to talk about breathing. Um, why is breathing important? Whenever we get anxious or stressed or fearful, we tend to hold our breath, and that cuts us off from our higher self and from our intuitive self. And last night, I happened to catch some advice from Deepak Chopra, and one of those things was to meditate, and another one of those things was to breathe. And the only instruction that was given was to breathe. And that brings to mind that oftentimes we're given that simple instruction: breathe, slow down, calm down, breathe, blah blah blah, breathe. You need to breathe, but it doesn't go into any more detail or any further than just that, to breathe. And so um, I was thinking about it, and my own experience. So uh, why am I affiliated with Knock Out the Stigma? Knock Out the Stigma. That's because I'm a peer myself. And what does that mean? So uh, I have my own lived experience, my own life journey with mental health challenges. I have several different diagnoses that I've received over time. And what that has done for me is that has given me an opportunity to go through what I call the recovery process. And in that, breathing and the breath, one of my favorite things to do is to practice what they call mindfulness. And one of the things that is associated in a big part of mindfulness is yoga. And a big part of being on the mat and being into the yoga poses is a focus on and a really deep concentration on the breath. And it's the ultimate tool for mindfulness, performance, recovery. And right now, we know that people are having challenges with the physical distancing, social distancing. I like to think of it as physical distancing because people are coming out with all kinds of creative ways for it not to be a socially distanced thing, but it's a physical distance. We have to keep our physical distance for safety, but socially we're staying connected. That's why I'm doing this video right now. That's why we're talking. And breathing is so important. It's a part of mindfulness. Like I said, it's a big part of yoga. So if you've ever done yoga, if you've been to anything that is about a mindfulness practice, the breath is a way to stay present. And so I'll read you a quote from, I don't know how to say her last name, so I'm going to butcher it because that's what I do. Sometimes I butcher people's names. But Sonia Chouetter, Sonia Chouetter. Sorry, Sonia. Breathing deeply and regularly is not only the key to remaining calm, but also instantly connects us to a higher vibration. When we're stressed or fearful, we tend to hold our breath, which cuts us off from our higher self and our intuitive vibes. And so, in my journey and in my walk, I've come across several different breathing techniques. So when people say to breathe, what does that mean? So a couple of things that I've learned is that there's the diaphragm, and I know this is going to cut off, so you're not going to see everything that I'm going to do here. But there's your diaphragm, and that's right at the bottom of your rib cage. And a lot of us, when we're breathing, if we're breathing, it's very focused on our diaphragm. But if you put your hand right there with the bottom of your hand, like right on your diaphragm, right on the bottom, on the top of your diaphragm, on the bottom of your hand there, and then you take your other hand and you put it down by your belly button, in your belly. That's your deep belly. And so the breath, it's something that goes through the entire upper body. So it goes, you have your diaphragm and your lung breathing, and then you have your belly breathing. And something that I've learned is about belly breathing, and a lot of people aren't focused on the belly breathing. So when you're doing your deep inhales and you're doing that deep breath, if you put your hand one on somewhere around the diaphragm and one lower, that lower hand, you put it down on your belly button, on your belly, then you can feel that whole breath that's filling up the whole upper body and getting that root chakra and all the other energies involved in the whole upper body, because a lot of us are only breathing with the diaphragm, and there's that whole breath to take. So that's just a tip that I share with you. So I just wanted to run through 4 different breathing techniques, I'll call them. And if we go with the suggestions of how do we increase our well-being, increase our own health and stuff in this particular time of social distancing, physical distancing. So in physical distancing and breathing, there's 3 techniques that I'm going to share. So the first one is what we call a 4-6 breathing technique, and it's just what it sounds like: 4 seconds of inhale and 6 seconds of exhale. So it's a 4-second inhale, so it's a 6-second exhale. And we'll do that one more time: a 4-second inhale and a 6-second exhale. So if you notice, one of the things that I'm doing is I'm inhaling through my nose and I'm exhaling through my mouth. So we'll do that one more time just to get a hang of it. And this is the 4-6 breathing technique. And so remember, when people say breathe, or you see a sign that says take a breath or stop and breathe, one of the exercises that you can do is this 4-6 breathing technique. So we're going to go 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. So that's 4-6. And my quick research tells me that technique comes from Kelly McGonigal and Tony Schwartz. And number 2, the second breathing technique, one that is I'm a little more fond of than the 4-6, because the 4-6, it didn't vibe with me, but I want to share it with you because it might vibe with you. That's why I'm giving you 3, because one of these 3 is going to vibe with you. The next one is what they call box breathing. So this is a 5-second, 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 5-second technique. And box breathing, boom, 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 boom. You're forming a box: 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. And the way those 5 seconds break down is 5 seconds inhale, 5-second hold, 5-second exhale, 5-second hold. So that's box breathing. And when you do 3 cycles of that box breathing, that'll get you through a minute. So box breathing is a 5-second inhale, a 5-second exhale, a 5-second hold, a 5-second exhale, a 5-second hold. And that comes from Mark Divine. And let's try that one and demonstrate that one for you. So again, we're going to breathe in for 5 seconds to the nose. We're going to hold it. We're going to exhale for 5 seconds. And then we're going to hold that again, and then we're going to repeat that. So we're going to do it twice. So we're going to do the box breathing technique twice here. So ready? Here we go. Inhale. We're going to inhale again for 5. Hold it for 5. Exhale for 5. And then hold it again for 5. And then you repeat that. And that's box breathing. And so that's another technique that you can use, and you would get through 3 cycles of that every minute. So if you were doing a 2-minute meditation, you would get through 6 cycles. And if you were doing a 10-minute meditation, 20-minute meditation, 30-minute meditation, you could do something like box breathing to focus on your breathing. So one of the things that I do when I meditate is I focus on my breath, just like I do when I'm in my yoga poses and when I'm on my yoga mat. And I use the breath as something to focus on. And the last technique I'm going to share with you, number 3, the last technique is centering breathing, and it's a 6-2-7 rhythm. And that comes from Dr. Jason Selk. And Dr. Jason Selk wrote a book called 10-Minute Toughness, and he has worked with a number of athletes, a number of professional teams and organizations, Fortune 100, Fortune 500 businesses. So you can look up Dr. Jason Selk. But I was very intrigued because he found that in slowing the heart rate, so anxiety is a big issue. People are really anxious in this time of physical distancing, and anxiety is a big issue. And if you use the 6-2-7 technique, even when you're working out, if you use the 6-2-7 breathing technique, in my own personal experience and my own use of it, it brings the heart rate down. So it's a centering technique, and they call it centering breathing. And with athletes, to create the perfect physical and mental collaboration and environment for performance, the 6-2-7 technique through observation is what Dr. Salk recommends. So 6-2-7 is you do a 6-second inhale, 6 2-second hold, and then you do a 7-second exhale. So that 6-2-7, when you're breathing, if you're doing a 6-2-7, you get through 4 cycles in a 60-second period, which is a minute. So I'll work through that with you because that's my favorite. I like to do it in my different practices and in my meditative practice. I like to do it when I'm out doing my exercise, when I'm getting my walks. I like to do it when I'm just centering myself throughout the day. So the way that I'm going to do it right now is like I recommended. I'm going to put my hand right there on the diaphragm and on my belly, and I'm going to close my eyes while I do this. And I'm going to inhale for 6 seconds through my nose. Hold it for 2 seconds. And exhale for 7. Then I'm going to inhale for 6 seconds. Hold it for 2. Exhale for 7. And for those of us who have ever been or had an affinity for smoking, or smoking has been a part of our past, the 6-2-7 movement, it somewhat mimics the whole smoking thing of an inhale, a hold, and an exhale. And that's why it's such a calming rhythm and soothing rhythm for a lot of people in that moment of the inhale and the exhale while smoking, because it's almost a 6-2-7 rhythm when you observe it. But those three things are three breathing techniques, and in this time, it's very important that you recognize that you're not alone and that we're all in this together. That's why I'm doing this video, why I created this organization, and why all of our peer support superheroes have come together. One of the things that I'm going to be doing is editing up our community huddle that we did, and some of the inspirational shares that came from our peers in that particular event that we did a couple of years ago. And I want to make sure that we share that with you so that you have some content that might be uplifting and helpful to some in their journey as we all go through this together, because it's creating unique opportunities for us to reflect, for us to share, for us to decide if we're going to come out of this with, what is it, are we going to lose 20 pounds, and are we going to get a whole bunch of projects and things accomplished on our list of to-dos, or are we going to gain 20 pounds and come out of this with a whole new addiction and a whole new problem that we have to face? So it's all about intentfulness, mindfulness, purposeful direction as we go through this whole process together. So, like I said, I'm Don West Jr. I'm a peer support certified peer support specialist, and I'm here with you as we go through this in this time of opportunity, as I like to see it, because we have to, one of the things that we have an opportunity to do is to reframe this whole thing. So it's a pandemic, and it's a crisis, and it's a whole new way of living, but it's a new way to look at technology. It's a new way to look at social connection. It's a new way to look at our opportunities for our own growth and self-development and reflection on what we're going to do with our time, and then this new structure that's available to us. So all of those things are important. So hopefully you're out there on YouTube and you're finding some home workouts and some other things that are really helpful to your well-being. Hopefully this conversation that I just had with you on breathing, we went through 3 different breathing techniques. Just to recap, we did the 4-6 breathing technique, which is a 4-second exhale, inhale, 4-6-second exhale, 4-6, and then the box breathing, which is 5 seconds in, hold 5 seconds, exhale 5 seconds, hold 5 seconds, box breathing, and my personal favorite, which is the 6-2-7, and that's a 6-second inhale, 2-second hold, 7-second exhale. So hopefully something there was beneficial to you, because people are always telling us to breathe, and we don't always know what that means. So hopefully now I've given you 3 different things that you can do when you're breathing. It's a great mindfulness tool. We use it on the mat in yoga. I use it in my physical fitness routines every day. I use it as a centering technique. Sometimes I get anxious in all kinds of different situations in life, and I just say, hey, I know that I have these tools available to me to calm myself down, and the breath is a big part of it. So breathing, when people say breathe, it's really important. It's a really helpful thing. So hopefully one of these 3 breathing techniques are useful to you. So I'm Don West Jr., yours in the journey. As always, namaste.